ICLCA 2018. I am Zaki Yamani bin Zakaria and I will be your MC for today. ICLCA 18 serves as a high-impact platform bringing together researchers and multi-stakeholders from academia, government and private sectors to share the knowledge and experiences for the transformation towards low-carbon development in Asia and beyond. ICLCA 18 addresses the various challenges outlined under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and among the key sectors include urban planning and smart city, transportation, energy, waste management, land use, and other topics relevant to sustainable development. For this year, ICLCA 18 also hosts the joint event of LCSR Low-Carbon Interim Progress Meeting, a series of pre-conferences events including the LCA Publication and Editors Workshop, LCA Life Cycle Assessment Workshop, and the joint meeting for ProsperNet. ICLCA is brought to you by University Technology Malaysia and jointly organized by Majlis Bandaraya Johor Bahru. On behalf of the organizing committee, we are proud to welcome all of our honored participants to the conference today. Without further ado, I would like to invite Prof. Ho Chin Siong, the Director of Low Carbon Asia Research Center, UTM, and Chair of ICLCA 2018 for a warm welcome speech.
Thank you, MC. A very good morning. Salam sejahtera. Hayu gozaimasu. Yang berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran, Rahman of Johor Bahru, Dr. Kazuhiko Takemoto, Director of UMU, Institute of Advanced Studies of Sustainability, Dr. Junichi Fujino, our Program Director, Facility Task Force IGS, yang berbahagia Dato' Ismail Ibrahim, CE for Iskandar Regional Development Authorities, Honorable Mayors and representatives of local authorities from local and abroad, distinguished speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ho Chin Siong and I'm Director of UTM Low Carbon Asia Center and currently as the Chair for this ICLCA. And I would like to take this opportunity to extend my warmest welcome in our Malaysian language. Selamat datang, especially to those who come from far and abroad, to this 4th International Conference of Low Carbon Asia and beyond in Johor Bahru City Centre. For those people who are not familiar with ICLCA, this is an annual side event of LoCaNet to provide a platform for scholars to publish scientific papers and disseminate, exchange the latest finding related to climate change mitigation and adaptation with climate change policy implication. And of course, we also cover the use of clean and green technology. LoCaNet is a network of researchers that facilitates the formulation and implementation of science-based policies for low-carbon development in Asia region. And the aim of LoCaNet is to facilitate science-based policy in order to realize a sustainable future based on a stabilized climate. To this end, the network endeavors to continuously enhance research capability in the region based on South-South-North cooperation and translate research finding into actual policies to achieve a sustainable low-carbon growth in Asia. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you back to this 4th ICLCA Johor Bahru, where we started our very first ICLCA meeting in Johor Bahru in 2015. Last year we had our 3rd ICLCA conference in Bangkok, hosted by KMUDT, and 2 years ago That was 2 years ago. And the second ICLCA was hosted by UK also in Kuala Lumpur. Continuing from the previous successes, this year our fourth ICLCA is themed Transformation towards Smart, Resilience and Sustainable Communities, emphasizing steady progression towards low-carbon society and embrace a balanced people and technology-centric approach that is rooted to concrete science in Asia and beyond. In tandem with the UNFCCC, many fast-growing Asian cities, including those in Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines, are at various stages of implementation of their climate action plans towards low-carbon development. It is important for these developing countries to provide a backup to the framework through their own research. Overall policies for low-carbon development should be promoted voluntarily by researchers in each country, and research results should be continuously reflected in actual policy implementation and formulation. This event shows that evidence on how countries benefited from the collaboration and support given by universities with policymakers and some of the funding from overseas agencies such as JICA, JST, EU, UK Fund, and ADB, or even UN-sponsored grant. We also hope that low-carbon Asia Research City project can further foster stronger and continuous major joint research effort between universities and the respective ministries or local government, as well as generate grants from this country with developed countries. This conference especially serves as a high-impact dialogue platform for policymakers and researchers to knowledge share and discuss pertinent issues in the development of low-carbon society scenario for the Asian region. It aims to further strengthen the collaboration and cooperation already established among the participating universities and key government authorities, as well as other counterparts from the region. Let me entice your intellectual appetite with our rich conference menu. In these 2 days, we plan 8 plenary speeches, a city mayor forum with 6 mayors or mayoral representatives sharing their ongoing low-carbon initiatives, and 105 papers in 16 parallel sessions with speakers from Europe, Asia, and across Pacific Ocean and South America. Please also make sure that you register for your technical tours on the 3rd day, because it's a very interesting one for those people, especially from overseas. And later today we will have our official opening conference by Yang Hormat Tuan Tan Hong Ping, Johor Executive Chairman of Local Government, Science and Technology, representing the Chief Minister of Johor, Yang Amat Hormat Dato' Osman Safian, at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So apart from the above, ICLCA also hosts joint event, LC Locanet Interim Progress Meeting, as well as a series of exciting pre-conference events, including the Elsevier workshop, a life cycle assessment workshop, and the ProsperNet joint meeting, which was held yesterday in UTM. Before I end, I would like to thank the co-organizer, especially the Mayor of Johor City, for the generous support for this excellent conference venue and tonight's gala dinner. I must also thank UGA and other local authorities such as Putrajaya Corporation, Kuala Lumpur City Hall, Pulau Municipal Council, Iskandar Putri City Hall, and Pasir Gudang Municipal Council as the key partner to this event. And I also like to thank NIES and IGAS Japan for the continuous and solid support given to Asia Low Carbon Initiative. I know it takes a team effort, so my sincere appreciation also goes to all members of the organizing committee for their year-long hard work and dedication to help ensure success of this event. To all, I wish you a meaningful and rewarding experience in this event. Thank you very much.
Okay, yet again, please give Prof. Ho a round of applause for the motivating, informative, resourceful, welcoming speech And on behalf of the entire ICLCA committee, we once again welcome all participants and delegates to our conference. Okay, for the next event, I would like to invite Dato' Ismail Ibrahim, Chief Executive of Iskandar Regional Development Authority, IRDA, to begin our plenary session with the title Environmental Sustainability in Iskandar, Malaysia.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. May I have the clicker, please? Professor Ho, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me congratulate the organizers, particularly the local authorities and the university, for being able to organize and bring this particular event here in Iskandar, Malaysia. I would like to share with you over the next 15 minutes or so on the experience of dealing with low carbon here in this economic region of Iskandar, Malaysia. For some of you who might not be familiar with this region called Iskandar, Malaysia, let me take a few moments of your time to introduce what really is Iskandar, Malaysia. Now, this is actually an economic region that was established some 10 years ago. It was an effort by both the federal government of Malaysia as well as the state government of Johor. The whole idea about creating this economic region is to transform this region to become a developed region. It is part of our effort in realizing the vision of Malaysia to become a developed country. It is chosen for the very fact that it has a very strategic location, and it is also blessed by the years of development. It has the connectivity, the logistics. It has the necessary character in terms of space and talent and political stability to position itself as a region that can actually generate economic growth and at the same time able to create job opportunities as well as business to thrive within this area. So the early years of our effort is really about improvement in terms of connectivity and positioning and branding this particular region to be a place for investment, a place to work, and a place to live at the same time. At the end of the day, when it becomes developed, definitely the wealth would be able to be cascaded down fairly and equitably to be benefited by the population at large. Now, this particular area covers an area of about 2,217 kilometers square, just to the north of Singapore, separated by the Strait of Johor. And over the last 10 years, it has actually seen, for some of you, or most of you here, who have actually been following the development of Iskandar, Malaysia, you would agree with me that the development that has taken place is unprecedented in Malaysia and even in this particular region. Within Iskandar, Malaysia, it is within the state of Johor, and it has 5 local authorities within its jurisdiction. And we have actually laid out a very clear plan as regards the development of Iskandar, Malaysia. Now, looking at the whole perspective of development of Iskandar, Malaysia, even though I mentioned about economic growth and development and wanting to be developed, but we must remember when we want to position a region like this to be a global player, we must always talk about how are we going to deal with environmental issues at the same time. It cannot be ignored, because the global language of development today is that the need to conserve development must run hand in hand with economic development. There cannot be separation between the two. And at the same time, there must always be clarity on how the wealth that we are generating would benefit the people on the street. That is the very area in which is challenged before us. So that's why, if you look at to your extreme left, it is an illustration on how we deal with the development of this kind of Malaysia from a sustainability point of view, where we talk about the economy, social, as well as the environment. And I'm sure this circle of sustainability is very much familiar with you. Wherever you come from, we always talk about these three elements. But further to that, if you look at the center diagram, it further provides clarity on how we deal with environment, on how we deal with economy, and how we deal with social. In the sense that when we deal with economy, we not only be talking about generating wealth, but at the same time, how are we able to distribute that wealth equitably and fairly? In economics, sometimes we can always lie by saying that we generate wealth, but actually that wealth is only enjoyed by the few. For example, multinational companies. But again, it is still a measure of wealth. But that measure of wealth doesn't really reflect how the population actually are benefiting out of it. That's why we always emphasize on wealth sharing and inclusiveness. And third is, of course, when we talk about a developing country like Malaysia, we are not, we have to work within our limited means. Our resources are limited, and we have to share those resources throughout the country. So this kind of Malaysia cannot be the sole recipient of all allocation made by the government. It has to be shared with others. So that is why we have to be mindful when we talk about development. We must optimize whatever resources that we have to make sure that we are also at the same time mindful of the area and the land that we deal with. Hence, the need also to ensure that we are always within the framework of low carbon. And the last diagram is also something which is very much familiar with you, which is the Sustainable Development Goals that was introduced recently. And when we superimpose all the 17 elements, we find that almost all, if not all, of them matches with our very own plan, which is the Comprehensive Development Plan. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you are. We have our own plan on how we want to see development of this kind of Malaysia, and how we provide clarity in terms of its implementation. And later, when we superimpose against the universal agenda, particularly on sustainable development goals, we find that it matches very well. So, all in all, when we look at how we have progressed today, I would say that we have gone through the three phases of development. When, as regards environment, we have done the writing bit, we have done the implementation bit, and now we are in the monitoring stage. These are very important stages when we deal, for instance, climate or even low carbon in this aspect. Because when we deal with the phases of dealing with issues like low carbon, there must be clarity in terms of the steps that we need to take. How do we engage our stakeholders? Because at the end of the day, if we are so passionate about it, and we end up doing it all alone, then we are not getting the buy-in. Because at the end of the day, the measure of success is really about you and I, as ordinary citizens, benefiting from all this. So there must be proper engagement with stakeholders. There must be proper publication, and there must be proper messaging that we are able to reach across to the community in order for them to be aware of, for them to understand, and for them to participate and support this whole agenda, in this instance, on low carbon. So actually, this chart or this diagram is an illustration on how the write-up has been done, on how we are actually able to identify the action programs and activities. I do not wish to deal with each and every one of them, but from the illustration, it tells us a lot about how we deal with this agenda in a more systematic way, either by the identification of specific programs and activity under a certain theme, or going back on how we engage the United Nations, for instance, to get the necessary recognition from there on. So, as I mentioned earlier, we deal with every level of governance, we deal at every level of authority. From the international agenda, we have actually got our work not only put to the likes of, for example, United Nations, but more importantly, to gain recognition from United Nations through their various agencies. And then back at the national level, we produce the framework for low carbon, for instance, and submitted our work to get the necessary recognition by the government. And in fact, for your information, and most of you knows about what really happened in ICLCA Malaysia, when we first started, for instance, our low carbon project, no one in Malaysia knows about it. We have been working, we work with the likes of Japan, with their support and with their knowledge and expertise. We developed our very own. Then and only then, after gaining recognition at United Nations, then we brought back that document, and within a short time, we were able to get recognition by the federal government, and now the federal government have actually accepted low carbon as a national agenda. And then at the regional level, definitely we have to look at how ICLCA Malaysia deals with the matter, because low carbon, for instance, is not or cannot be too city specific, nor to be tackled at a very small area. It needs to be tackled at the regional level, no less. Because when you talk about quality of environment, when we talk about dealing with industrial sites and all that, it is not only confined to city areas. It is also being extended to all the other logistics facilities, which might not necessarily be located in those cities. ICLCA provides a very good example, where even though we have the city of Johor Bahru and now we have the city of Iskandar Puteri, these are two city status authorities in ICLCA Malaysia, but their seaports and airports are not located neither near to those cities. They are located elsewhere, but within ICLCA Malaysia. So you need to look at within a bigger perspective rather than just specific to a particular city or a particular location. And then finally, at the local authority level, it is very important, because this is where the implementation takes place. This is where the monitoring will have to be done. And this is where we need to engage the local authorities, not only very early in the project, but also to get their buy-in and their understanding, and for them to take this effort upon themselves based on the realization that this is important for them. So we took the initiative of preparing low carbon society blueprint implementation program as well as monitoring program for each and every of the 5 local authorities that reside within the Iskandar Malaysia region. And again, this is also an illustration of the effort that we have put in, and how from the 281 programs that we have actually identified, and how we have been able to kick off several of those programs, and at the same time able to monitor how they progress from time to time. So this is actually a mid and a long-term program, but as long as you are able to identify them in your blueprint, you should be able to phase them out over a period of time, and at the same time ensure its completion, but never lose sight of the manner in which we continue to monitor their activities. And for example, one area in which we deal with here, the district cooling plant or system. This needs a very strong effort, not only to convince the authorities, but at the same time to convince the business community that DCS is probably something that is good for the future, especially for new development. And we need, in this case, to work with the business community. Housing developers or township development would need not only to understand the advantage from many perspectives, but for example, if we take a district cooling system, we can actually prove by way of continuous monitoring that we can save electricity, water, CO emission, and other elements. And these are very strong numbers that we can actually measure, and as long as we are able to work with the people in the industry, be it commercial or whatnot, then we should be able to together in collaboration prove. For example, in this case, the district cooling element can actually protect and continue to improve the environment. We have also introduced things like a management tool. This is where we find that this sort of management tool is very important, not only to give us what we term as real-time information about what really is happening on the ground, but we can also use this information to do projection based on trend analysis and based on the data that we have collected over a period of time, say over a day, over a week, or even over several years, so that we are able to provide the necessary recommendation and advice to the appropriate authority for some policy intervention. In this case, maybe on the river, maybe on climate, or maybe on development itself. Because you can see that this provides a platform where we should be able to put all stakeholders, whether they are in private sector or public sector, in one page. Because without this, we believe very strongly that things are being done in an uncoordinated manner. Sometimes we have authorities, but authorities appear to be dealing with those same matters in isolation. There are less communication. Probably because there is no common platform on which they can work with. So with this sort of platform, regardless of what powers you have for that particular area, whether you are dealing with river, where you are dealing with land use, we are dealing with waste disposal. On that same page, you can actually know what needs to be done, either by real time or either by policy intervention. And again, as I've illustrated earlier, recognition is very important. It's just like selling something that you want to get consumer to buy. You cannot be producing your goods and expect the consumer to suddenly overnight know about what you have. You need to market your product. You need to do whatever pitching or sales pitch. You need to introduce You need to introduce what that you have so that you will get the necessary recognition. And this again, another area usually we have done, that is the greenhouse gas emission, which is something that is familiar to you. This also to illustrate that we also do our part here. And finally, all this effort that we've done doesn't come without challenges. There will always be challenges from a political perspective, from bringing about awareness and education, and many things. And these are also an illustration on how we deal with those matters. But the message here is that we need to somehow list them all down. Some can be tackled almost immediately. Some will take many hours of effort. Some of them will continue to remain as a challenge because...
Can I have a slideshow first? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all. Here is the Johor Bahru iconic places that we would like to share to all. We have the 0 kilometers here. This is the Ramai Mahkota. Laman Siring. Musical fountain we can find at the Taman Merdeka. This is our LED lighting at the night at the city center. And the last, we want to bring you to the Bazaar Johor Bahru. You can find all sorts of merchandise here too. First of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name, Nazatu Shima Muhammad, the Deputy Secretary for Johor Bahru City Council. How are you? How's everyone here? Okay. Today, I will be representing the Mayor of Johor Bahru City Council in sharing the practices and initiatives that Johor Bahru City Council had taken in striving towards a low-carbon city. To all the participants here, I would like to say, welcome to Johor Bahru. Selamat datang. I hope that all of you will have a wonderful stay here. And please enjoy, relax, come to Johor Bahru. We have many iconic places as being shown just now, and we hope that all of you will continue to visit to Johor Bahru. Please do so. Yang berhormat Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, the Johor Bahru City Council was inaugurated on the 1st of January 1994. During its inauguration, the City Council was responsible towards the planning and development of 220 square kilometers. Recently, last 2 years, the local authority has been redeemed revitalization of administration area that we are now covering a likely double 373.18 square kilometers with a population approximately 800,000. Johor Bahru City Council, we are responsible for the public health and sanitation, waste removal and management, town planning, environmental protection, building control, urban infrastructure and beautification. So, we have our own vision going to international during 2020. And this forum, the 4th International Conference of Low Carbon Society Asia, is a good step for us. Thank you so much all. The City Council, we are celebrating our anniversary next year, the silver anniversary. So looking back through its history, the City Council can say that it is proud to achieve its leaps and bounds in developing the city of Johor Bahru, what we see today. We are prepared. Another 25 years to come, a golden anniversary. The more you know about the past, the better prepared you are for the future. As one of the authorities in Johor Bahru, we are very responsible to cater for the human security of the citizens of Johor Bahru. It is vital for us to adapt new strategies and effective governance in facing the challenging future. Ladies and gentlemen, looking from the perspective of a development city, it is now no longer measured only with the building of skyscrapers or planned infrastructure network only. Among the indicators is to develop a sustainable city by taking into account the level of sustainability, which is our goal is to make cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable, which among the others is measured on the rate of carbon emission compared to the level of current gross domestic product. According to the Sustainable Cities report by the World Economic Forum, many countries nowadays I recognize their successes to apply the concept of low carbon city for the sustainable development. Among these cities are Seoul, Frankfurt, Vienna, Kyoto, and not forgetting our neighbor Singapore. Therefore, the state government is committed to efforts to reduce the emission of green gases and has taken proactive steps in developing the initiatives towards a low-carbon city, in which the city development takes into account various aspects of development that contribute a low-carbon level emission. City that comprises of societies that consume sustainable green technology, green practices, and low carbon. Now, we are towards achieving the goal. The Johor Bahru City Council had utilized the Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan, which are being realized on the 2025, which was first developed in 2015 in collaboration with University Technology in Malaysia, thank you, ERDA, and researchers from Japan. We are the beginning to implement the 2018 revised Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025, which was just completed August by University Technology The revised action plan serves as a guide and a reference for Johor Bahru City Council and other agencies such as developers in designing a city that achieves continuous lower carbon emissions. The programs conducted by Johor Bahru City Council and residents based on the programs outlined by this action plan are quantifiable and those measurable in terms of GHG emissions. Yang berbahagia Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, at the level of Johor Bahru City Council, a low carbon society Green Neighbourhood Task Force has been established to coordinate and drive the Council in implementation of low carbon society programs accordingly to their relative importance in resulting a tangible low carbon effect. To date, 3 years implementation of Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025, a good 20% of total programs within this action plan has been executed. Among the programs that Johor Bahru City Council have been made it a reality are Johor Bahru Car Free Day. Anyone here have been to Johor Bahru Car Free Day? Okay, so we need to go together. It is every first Saturday every month in the morning. Come, doctor. Yeah? Make a date, okay? We can walk, we can cycle, we can zumba. We encourage the motorists to give up their cars. Okay? It's a good one. Do come and join us. The second one, we conducted the free bus services, Bus Muafakat Johor. Also, we replaced a conventional lights with LED. A total of 14% throughout all has been replaced. It will give us lower energy consumption, longer lifetime, and of course, improve physical robustness. Also, development of multi-purpose halls that incorporate elements such as rainwater harvesters system, disabled friends facilities, and compliance of Green Building Index. There's a saying, save the water of rain and don't let it to drain. Johor Bahru City Council also banned the polystyrene and environmentally unfriendly packaging and replacing them with biodegradable plastics starting from the 1st January 2017 onwards. This involved 249 stalls, 202 food court units, 53 acre units, 46 shops and bazaar, 46 night markets areas, and 14 morning markets areas. Besides that, Johor Bahru City Council also make the infrastructure lively by impose the pedestrian walkways, bicycle lanes, neighborhood garden, solid waste composting. Hybrid vehicles and bicycle parking areas which can be applied in many areas also you can find in Johor Bahru. Ongoing collaborative programs with IRDA, thank you so much, including implementation of the comprehensive assessment system for the Beyond Environmental Efficiency Green Accord Initiatives Award and Building Energy Reporting and Monitoring System, which will collectively lead to lower energy and GHG emissions intensity of development activities in Johor Bahru. Yang berbahagia Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, the Johor Bahru City Council is very committed in ensuring continuous and consistent. In Malay we call it istiqamah. Make sure it's not a full stop, it's continuous. Implementation of green development and low carbon society programs in Johor Bahru to achieve the target of low carbon emission rate by 50% by the year 2025 in the Iskandar, Malaysia development region. I hope that continuous efforts by all parties here involved in Johor Bahru's development will help to reduce carbon emission in the city. Intensification of collaboration with various departments is very crucial here in achieving this agenda. Remember, cities will shape our future. What we want to do, we do it now. The City Council also welcomes here any networking or collaboration proposal. Do come over to our office. From international or local organization, we hope that we share amongst us the best practices and perhaps new technology can be applied. Lastly, I would like to thank a big thank University Technology Malaysia, Iskandar Malaysia, and the state government which developed the low carbon society action plan City Council. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hanja, for the informative description of what the MBGP have done in terms of the low carbon initiative. I'll pass the mic to maybe you to the second speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Junichi Fujino. I'm also the co-moderator, same as the Professor Ochin-chong. So then now I would like to invite the very important speaker from Thailand, Dr. Kitisaku Kanasawa from the city Mahasarakham city, and he's a mayor, and also he has the medical doctor. Okay, so floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Kitisak Kanasawa, the Mayor of Mahasarakham Municipality. Mahasarakham Municipality is one of the provinces in north-eastern of Thailand. Mahasarakham Municipality is have the area of about 24 kilometers square and have a population of 52,000, including 30 communities. And we have unregistered population, especially the students. Mahasarakham is the city of education and students. We have students more than 60,000. And environmental factor problems mainly is about waste problem. We produce waste about 100 tons per day, and cost of waste management about 1,000 baht per ton. And now we use synthetic landfill technique, and in the future we plan to set up the plant waste to energy plant. And now I will sharing my experience about low capacity project in Mahakam municipality. In 2050, Mahakam municipality joined the project of action resolved to support carbon footprint processed by local governing organization to move on reducing carbon footprint, which is the main partner is Thailand Greenhouse Gas Management Organization. And we learn about this project is we learn what is low capacity, what is carbon footprint, and how to achieve low capacity. And the result of next slide, please. Okay. Result of the project is we have done of greenhouse gas in only organization level is about 74,000 ton kilometer. And we direct the knowledge in the organization. Next slide, please. And in 2016, we joined the advanced project. We reporting the greenhouse gas data in city level for supporting development to low capacity. In the past 2050, we only scope in organization level, but in 2016 we scope expanded to city level and giving knowledge to government agencies, private sector, community in wider scope, meeting to deliver knowledge to inform the participant, giving knowledge to every performing project and activity, and disseminated to the participant. Next slide, please. And report of the data in 2015-16 is total carbon dioxide is about 15,000 tons in the city level. Next slide, please. And in 2017, Mahakam municipality joined the project preparation in market mechanism to support greenhouse gas reduction, which is the Thailand Partnership to Market Readiness, which is the owner project is Thailand Greenhouse Gas Management Organization. This project to set up greenhouse gas data, assess the potential of greenhouse gas reduction from appropriate activities, develop the plan of greenhouse gas reduction in appropriate way. Next slide, please. And result, we have data of the emission of carbon dioxide is about 247,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year and 4.6131 tons of carbon dioxide per person and 10,000 tons carbon dioxide per kilometer square. Next slide, please. And preparation of Mahakam to market mechanism to support greenhouse gas reduction. We deliver knowledge to the public sector. Next slide, please. And to the stakeholder and get the commitment of the brainstorm to issue and execute the commitment to low capacity. Next slide, please. Low capacity image hospital have the four components. First is city of tea. Second, city of waste minimization. Third, city of energy efficiency. And the last, city of sustainable consumption. The first, city of tea. Big benefit of city of tea is we can relax, exercise, and spot, sending the beautiful scenery to the city. And the second, city of waste minimization. We have the green fermentation tank with the and the third, city of waste minimization. We have youth volunteer, little big group, which have the activity of waste separation in every activity in community. Next slide, please. We have also the beauty salon card. We have 120 beauty salons to join to waste separation activity. Next slide, please. And we have set up the waste bank in the municipality office. Waste management by odorless bucket. Next slide, please. Aspect of waste management. We have by recycled waste from the community. Let's learn to degraded waste. Isolate waste in the school, volunteer group for waste management, and waste awareness of the children and the population. Next slide, please. And the city of waste minimization is the project in the future is waste to energy plant, which is the private sector to join and investment, which is the electricity capacity 9.9 megawatt, waste usable about capacity about 700 tons per day, and budget about 102,000 million baht. This we think it was expected the waste to energy plant will be operated in the 2 or 3 years later. City of waste minimization, the air pollution management, we air quality monitoring at least twice a year. This result is well in the standard. Next slide, please. City of energy sufficiency. We have any activity to reduce energy consumption and appropriate way to use the energy. Next slide. We have the project to change fluorescent bulb to LED bulb, which is supported by Ministry of Energy. This budget is about 26 million baht, which is about change about to 20,000 bulb, which is finished in this year. Fourth measure is city of settlement. Next slide. To increase the energy consumption efficiency Next slide. We promote the farmer group to organic way. Next slide. And setting the green market for organic product. We promote to people to buy the organic product and make the value to this product, and ensure the people which in the community to sell, to buy the green market product, and center operation to low capacity. Such a way to low capacity. We conclude that the three major parts to success to achieve the low capacity is: one, the first, the government sector and state enterprise. The second is private company and store. And the third, the operation of the area and community group, volunteer and network connection. We convince everybody that as a community, three priority, we must work for the low poverty, and we that's the way of sustainable way to achieve low poverty in the family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, from the Masyarakat cities. And you can see that there are quite a lot of initiatives undertaken by the cities. They are talking about balancing on the trees, talking about consumption, talking about solid waste, and many other initiatives related to lifestyle change, which I think is a very effective way to cut down carbon. I will go to the next speaker. I would like to invite Mr. Nguyen Minh Moi, Deputy Director for Dong Ray, our Department of Natural Resources and Environment from Vietnam. So may I pass the mic to Mr. Nguyen Minh Moi. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nguyễn Thị Hường. Today I presentation for Department of Natural Resources, low carbon society investment in Vietnam, to invest technology supporting policy. Contents: overview of low carbon development strength and the option for the low carbon technology is the world. Policy on supporting low carbon technology in Vietnam. Overview of low carbon investment strength in the policy. Low carbon technology is the world. Climate change impacts to human like energy waste and service, and to future in climate change. 3. Stabilization of climate. 4. Global targets having a scale emission to 9050. 5. Enlistment of action to energy of low carbon society. 6. Low carbon green ground in variation. Impression. 7. Benefit of transition to low carbon green ground. Climate change involves in human life every area of review. The future of climate change, increasing risk with temperature to progression of climate change human beings never expensive. Climate change impacts on human life broad as cellular. Stabilization of climate. Stabilization in this channel of 21st century. Final goal of stabilization. CASG0 as mission was only an immediate solution, which transformation to low carbon society found its way to a point to return. Global targets having of the current emission by 2050. Enlistment of action to deliver a low carbon society. Technology, energy, progression, technology, and energy science system, integration of supply, interest, technology, society, interstruction, transportation system, open, benefit of translation of low carbon green ground, enhancing industries, sectors as social of energy efficient, supply of demand, and in reduce energy project. The human health has benefits from interaction. Policy on supporting low carbon technology in Vietnam. General information. Climate change policy of supporting low carbon action towards low carbon society in energy sector. Promotion the development of market for engine effects technology. General information located Southeast Asia is 300,000 51 to 1 kilometer. Capital Hanoi 328 kilometer. Production is 2059. Vietnam about 70 million. Hanoi City about 1.3 million. Climate policy on supporting low carbon technology. Once law in environment protection, national green ground stress, national climate change strategies, markets or in supporting major national targets, engineer setting program and national engineer development straight up to 9090 with 2 or 15 vision. Laws on environmental protection to 55 to 13. The environment protection laws to once found. Nation green growth strategy. Upload to September of 2012 by Mr. Minister of Executive reviews the internally to the CHG emission by 8 to 10% as compared to 902. Review energy consumption per unit CPP by 1 to 5% per year. Nation package in ordering economy programs and service in the risk up to 9 to 20 with the 150 vision. Total in Asia, we must in Vietnam to expect to double up to 2050. To achieve the saving for 5 to 8% of the total engineer constitution. Example, less new flying train to Vietnam. Competition at the office, less writing marker has read grown 10 years. Government full support with the perfect timing for that manufacturing to enter the market. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think we have heard about this Vietnam policy at the national level by Don Ray. You can see it's very comprehensive on this climate change, how they move toward low carbon society transition, supported by policies and technologies, as well as a green growth strategy. I think next speaker will be from the city level. Haiphong City, they will see how this so-called national policy or strategy is translated into city level at Haiphong. I will ask maybe Dr. Fujino.
Yeah. So next I'd like to invite also my good friend, Mr. Du Kong Fong from Haiphong City. He is a past Deputy General Director of Dinghu Industrial Zone Joint Stock Company, Vietnam, and also he is a member of Haiphong City's Sustainable Council, so provides yours.
Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Do Quang Hưng. I come from People Committees of Haiphong, and I am in charge of the first deputy director of economics, industrial zones. And my presentation is shared or prepared also by Associate Professor Dr. Nguyễn Văn Thành, Vice Minister of Vietnam Public Security, who is a former mayor of Haiphong City. Last time in Bangkok, I also made a presentation about Haiphong City low carbon implementation plan in Mayor Roundtable. And that Mr. Nguyễn Văn Thành, Vice Minister of Public Security, who is the co-author, and he is with me, is the author of the book Smart City in Vietnam, recently published on August. And on the screen, he handed the book to Israel ambassador to Vietnam and the Netherlands ambassador in Vietnam in the launch of the book. And maybe next time it will be published in Europe and United States. And this is with Vice Minister Nguyễn Văn Thành and I at the briefing business with the Eurocharm in Vietnam, the business community of European. But I'm going to make a presentation about very quick overview about Haiphong City. Haiphong City, the third largest city in Vietnam with population about 2 million people, located in the north, and the second biggest seaport in Vietnam with cargo throughput of this year estimated about more than 100 million cargo throughput, ton cargo throughput. And it's 100 kilometers from Hanoi capital and 200 kilometers to China border. And Haiphong has GDP rapid growth, average more than 10% for more than 20 years, with and seaport also increased more than 50% annually. And also because the seaport city we have endangered by sea level rise and climate change, also air and water pollution and rapid urbanization, traffic congestion and overload of infrastructure. And today I would like to bring the idea to reduce the carbon by focusing on industrial zone. The industrial zone is where most of factory concentrated and produce gas emission and many waste, industrial waste. And recently, government of Vietnam issued the decree number 82. In which on May this year encouraged the policy to development of eco-industrial park that want to move toward the greener production. And encouragement policy include the development of industrial zone infrastructure to convert the existing industrial parks to become eco-industrial park, and improvement of management, enterprise collaborate to reduce costs, improve operation efficiency and competitiveness, create a favorable condition for enterprises to perform industrial symbiosis, Symbiosis, that means the waste from this factory can be used by another factory in one industrial zone. And Prime Minister Vietnam has decision 821 to make the vision plan for Hải Phòng to build and develop Hải Phòng city toward a green and smart sport city with unique architect and synchronous socio-economic infrastructure system. It's our legal basis for that. And I outline some criteria for building eco-industrial parks that provide full range of basic industrial service in accordance with regulation. And only 25% of total land area in industrial park is a green zone, transportation and service infrastructure. And added one linkage of industrial symbiosis, and 10% of factory plan to join in symbiosis. And that ensures social housing and other social cultural and sport facility, and can monitor the input and output of energy use, make annual report on environmental protection, and comply with federal applicable laws and apply appropriate ISO standard on production and environmental management system. And 90% of enterprises within industrial park are aware of, and 20% of enterprises apply solutions on efficiency use of resources and cleaner production. And this is the industrial zone development model. So in history, previously factories scattered in residential area in the city, and it was a source of waste, air, noise, water pollution. And along with the development, it formed the industrial point. That factory gathered in one area, but without proper shared infrastructure, and that concentrated pollution and not treated. And then in the next step, in the industrial park formed, created with synchronous infrastructure and facility at the present. And waste and water is treated and managed by industrial park company, development company. But in the future and from now on, we have to move to eco-industrial park that environmental friendly and pollution is controlled and reduce CO2, carbon dioxide. And in the future, smart industrial park in Industry 4.0 will be our vision. The pollution is a minimum. And the benefit of eco parks for the state, the motivation of business, socio-economic development, attraction of investment, reduction of cost due to remediation of environment and consequences. For community, that can mitigate the impact of pollution, create new jobs in the field of industry and services, and opportunity to develop or maintain residential areas in harmony with industrial park. And for the tenants and industrial park developer, we can use renewable energy, reduce energy consumption, reduce cost, environmentally friendly with high added value. Products will be preferred by community and more attractive to investor, etc. About in the new industrial zone and this system. Here the new industrial zone, we have 5 industrial park in Hải Phòng under the name of Deep Sea. It's very convenient position is that conjunction with highway Hà Nội Hải Phòng. It takes 1.5 hours to Hanoi capital and go to Hà Long Bay only half an hour. And adjacent to the deep sea port, like the new port that's open this year. And in the next 2 years, when it comes into full operation, it will bring more capacity of about 100 additional 100 million cargo throughput ton. And now in Deep Sea 1, we have more than 50 factory and now manufacturer. The Vũ industrial zone established 20 years ago, and with investment capital of 324 million, not billion, US dollars, and attracted 75 projects with 2.9 billion US dollars. And this year, 7 projects will be built, and next year expecting another 5 big projects. And here some infinity services provided by industrial zone. You can have a look at that waste treatment plant. There's some picture about industrial zone. And that the tenant who ran the land and operating inside industrial park. So here is our we have planned to build industrial park, become eco-industrial park. That very eco-friendly with environment, and also with adjacent township or residential area. And some picture before. There's some picture about eco town within eco industrial park. And target purpose to make more smart factory and to make effective industrial symbiosis. Start with treated wastewater. That's treated wastewater will be used to water trees and for cooling system, because it's the quality the same with the river water quality. And of course, it's need more regulation and standard by the Vietnamese government, because now we are not allowed to use the treated water for input for other factory. And encourage use this robot in every production process, produce renewable energy, solar, wind power, waste to energy supply for tenants. And here our plan to supply energy for industrial parks. We need from thermal and hydro power plant from Vietnam power company. And we plan to build wind energy, solar power, and waste to energy to make additional use to reduce carbon. And we also install some testing in industrial, some column to measure the wind power. That later on that we can decide to put it, and this is the solar power test in one factory. And with approval from Ministry of Environment of Japan in April this year, the Vũ Ecovision cooperate with Itakisu City to study PFF for waste to energy project in the Vũ landfill. So I'm very interested in the waste to energy in Thailand, and later on I will talk to you. And prepare the production of clean water from seawater by wind power. And more area of green zone, we invest in plant nursery, use treated water for plant nursery, and either compost as organic fertilizer. And some action has been done from the committee and Ningbo Economic Zone and appointed Director for Eco-Industrial Park Development, and I am appointed on that position. Established the Eco-Industrial Park Development Department, outsourcing consultant to design ecological model, and cooperating with Ministry of Planning Investment and UNIDO to prepare that. And last year, People Committee had approved in principle for the economic zone to develop waste-to-energy. And now we are negotiating with potential partners to make joint venture to build waste-to-energy plant in the landfill, and looking for international cooperation expertise to develop this. And I think that the trend, and if we want to reduce carbon, we must concentrate on the source of emit carbon dioxide is industry zone, industrial park. So eco-industrial park will be the trend that we want to move forward. And finally, thank you for the kind invitation, and welcome your question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Do Kwang Phong from Haiphong. I think you can see that Haiphong City, with an population of 3 million people, have already quite advanced in their plan making, smart cities, efficient energy supply, eco park, and many other industrial symbiosis projects. So we can see just from the case of Thailand, Johor Bahru, Masyarakat, and Vietnam now. We'll go back to Malaysia now. I would like to invite Dato' Mahathir Nga. He's the Executive Director of Planning, Kuala Lumpur City Hall, to give his presentation on low carbon initiative undertaken by PBKL. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, Dr. Ho. Honorable speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. Thank you to BTN, the organizer. It is a great pleasure to be given this opportunity to speak at this international conference on low carbon society. To me, it is a big challenge for everyone to create a sustainable city, or sustainable and resilient city or community or society. The same thing goes to Kuala Lumpur City Hall. To us, dealing with climate change or the global warming issues is actually how good you are in handling carbon emission. If you will be able to reduce the carbon, to us, you are near having a sustainable city, or in a way you are actually having a good resilient city. So because of that, towards this end, I would like to share with you some of our experience in implementing some of the program, initiative and measures that we, City of Kuala Lumpur City Hall, have undertaken towards a low carbon society. First, to start, we have our low carbon society 2030, and this is a low carbon blueprint, low carbon society blueprint 2030, and I think it was launched way back. When was that? Last year. Yeah, it was launched last year. The main aim of this blueprint is to reduce, as I said earlier, the carbon emission in the city with the target is 70% reduction by 2030 without compromising its economic growth targets. So, how do we achieve that? It's not an easy thing to reduce 70% carbon emission. If you were to ask me, I really not be able to make any good promise or confirmation here. But then, let's start somewhere. Let us move from there and see how best we can achieve. So we are working hard towards that, and we have laid out specific plan for it. In that plan, we have, as you can see from the screen, 3 trusts, 10 action, measures, and 245 detailed programs that have been identified. So with that roadmap, I am a bit confident, or have a better confidence that we may be achieving something. If not 70%, probably nearly that figure, that 70%. But of course, we need help from UTM to check on our progress. Okay. The detailed program is actually can be categorized into 7 focus areas, namely transport, as you can see from the screen, building, solid waste, water, energy, infrastructure, as well as the environment. For the transport and mobility, Kuala Lumpur City Hall at the moment introduced 5 rail systems: MRT, KTM commuter, monorail, expressway link, and also light rapid transit, LRT, short for it, LRT. And these are the efforts that we want the people to shift from using own or private cars into public transport, because the private cars is known for emitting the highest carbon in the city. So if you can use less private cars, more public transport, that is the best for us in Kuala Lumpur. Again, Kuala Lumpur City Hall wants to introduce more green mobility in the city, or more green mobility in the city. We are embarking on having a proper master plan for the pedestrian and bicycle network. We are doing it, and we are in the process of finalizing it. And I think beginning of 2019, this plan will be launched. And with the launching of the plan, I'm quite sure City Hall will follow up with the proper construction of the network for the pedestrian as well as for the bicycle. is the line. We have already done a pilot project for the bicycle lane in the downtown area, covering distance of 11 kilometers. We have a very good response, and because of that, we're going to extend it to cover a few more areas, such as Wasemaju and Desa Pandan. And this Wasemaju and Desa Pandan is on the east part of Kuala Lumpur. And most of the purpose lanes are actually will be using river reserve, and part of it sharing with pedestrian walkways. Apart from introducing bicycle lane, Kuala Lumpur City Hall is also promoting people to actually use bus service. I'm quite sure many of us has visited Kuala Lumpur, and to the foreign guests, you are also invited to try our bus ride, Go KL bus ride. It is a free service. This is a free ride within the city center. This is another option that we want more and more people to take public transport. And this free ride, Go KL bus service, is actually providing feeder service, in a way, providing feeder service to integrate with other modes of public transport in the city. And these buses actually use Euro 5 and GV fuel to reduce carbon emission. In the city center of Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur City Hall is constructing a comprehensive pedestrian network. At the moment, some already in existence, and a lot more actually in the pipeline, some which is under construction at the moment. This pedestrian network is barrier-free, well-landscaped, safe and very comfortable to walk. Today, if you were to visit Kuala Lumpur again, if you were to walk along Jalan Apang, or I really wanted to invite you to walk along Jalan Apang, you can have a very wide pedestrian walkway, and the standard, I think the quality is not so far from Orchard Road that you would normally have or see in Singapore. So please come and visit Jalan Apang. It can be rest assured you will enjoy your walk in the city. Because to other people, walking can be quite interesting. Especially now in Kuala Lumpur, you can see a lot of nice, iconic building with very nice design of facade, or building facade. So do come to Kuala Lumpur and please walk along Jalan Apang. And probably I wanted to highlight also the new covered walkways in the city, which is some under construction at the moment. We are trying to use solar panel on top of it, on top of the roof, to power the walkways. So we may get free electricity power to light for the lights. And also, we are also inventing at certain points the van where it actually come up with a cool air. So I think if you can come 2 years, maybe 1 year from now, or probably 1.5 years from now, you will be able to see that. So that is another innovation that we wanted to introduce, to reduce the carbon in the city. Green building. It is a thing known to many of us. Everyone talk about green building. But in city of Kuala Lumpur, at the moment, we have 174. As per today, we have 174 residential and non-residential building, mostly in the city center of Kuala Lumpur. To us, not that much yet. We are still hoping more developers to construct new green building. On top of that, we are also pursuing a lot more existing building owners to retrofit their building, to convert it to green building as well. But I think the response is so cool at the moment, not so good yet. They are not so excited. But probably, as a senior officer of City Hall, probably we should be introducing some or throwing some carrots or probably some incentive packages to these building owners, including the property developers, so that more and more green building will be constructed or retrofitted in City of Kuala Lumpur. Okay, we do have look at the way we manage the energy, and I think I can show one sample for Kuala Lumpur City Hall building ourselves. We have implemented energy conservation measures, and through that measures, we managed to save the electricity bill by 0.3 million ringgit Malaysia, 0.3 million ringgit Malaysia, or 330,000 ringgit Malaysia in 2017. So we are expecting this year to have to save more, because we are more rigorous in that aspect to reduce or to preserve, to conserve the energy. Now, the solid waste. Ladies and gentlemen, in Kuala Lumpur, we spend so much money, huge amount of money, to manage the solid waste in the city. Every year we are spending 260 million ringgit. I think this is a very big amount of money involved. So Kuala Lumpur City Hall is actually looking at new options. One of them is to encourage all residents to implement 3R programs. And this is one of the popular programs in solid waste management in the city. And it involves local residents, local communities, schools, and some offices as well. Now the water. River is one of the important features to support our low carbon initiatives. We are making okay. Okay. So in Kuala Lumpur, I think a lot of us knew about the project, the River of Life project, which is, I think, the project that received a lot of publicity, and it is to us a very important place to walk and to cycle along the riverbank in the city. And this River of Life project stretches as far as 100 kilometers from the city center, and along the river there is a well-landscaped walking and cycling path. But at the moment it's only, I think, we have completed the first phase. We are coming up with the second phase and the third phase soon. So never mind, we have to be patient a little bit more. They come to 2020, the whole project will be completed. And this river, apart from nice place to recreate. It also create a new option for people to commute to and from city center. Either you walk or you can also cycle. And there's a special musical fountain, iconic musical fountain at the river confluences of Gombak and Klang River, where you actually attract a lot of tourists to linger around to discover the place. That's about River of Life. You can see from the screen, it's quite unique. The color changes daytime and nighttime. Nighttime the river looks the color of the river blue, but daytime I'm not quite sure, brown or at least slightly brown color. But you want to see blue, then you have to come at night. Then the rainwater harvesting, this is a normal condition imposed on all the developers in the city who wanted to develop new site. Okay, another aspect to reduce the carbon emission is actually we are concentrating on the energy itself. For your information, Kuala Lumpur owns 2,400 units of vehicles, Kuala Lumpur City Hall. Out of that, 50% actually vehicles powered by diesel fuel. Last 3 years ago, we had a collaboration with Malaysian Palm Oil Board to produce biodiesel, B10 biodiesel, to run our diesel-powered vehicles. So, based on that pilot, we actually had a very good outcome, good result, and due to that success, all diesel-powered vehicles within City of Kuala Lumpur will migrate to use B10 biodiesel starting from next year. So, as I was informed that this biodiesel is actually a byproduct of used cooking oil. So now, from used cooking oil that they used to dump into the river or to our drain, now we can use it back and produce another energy to run the vehicle. I think that is a very good alternative, and if that can be properly managed, I think the city of Kuala Lumpur can be very clean and good for everyone. Next is actually on the infrastructure and the information or the technology. In Kuala Lumpur, we are actually managing our traffic through our integrated transport information system, or we call it ITs. And the main purpose of this ITs is actually to smoothen the traffic flows in the city and also to give information to the drivers, the real-time traffic information on all roads in the city. By using information from ITs, drivers are guided into less congested areas. But what is important to us is less jam, meaning that will be less carbon in the city. So less jam, less carbon. So we don't want to have too many traffic jam in the city. Okay. Also on the aspects of energy, by middle of this year, Kuala Lumpur City Hall has managed to replace 45,000 street lighting to LED lights. This costs a fair bit of money to us, but notwithstanding that initial capital or initial money that was spent, they are actually now give us lower electricity bill, because by having LED lights, it actually consumes a lot less of electricity. And on top of that, all Kuala Lumpur City Hall's buildings are currently using LED lights. So we are expecting to actually reduce more on our electricity bill soon. Now on the aspects of the environment, tree planting and community garden is actually being encouraged, and to us trees provide oxygen. Trees also consume and absorb carbon to manufacture their food. So this is a very good relationship between trees and human beings. Therefore, if we can plant more trees, more oxygen, less carbon, because tree will eat all the carbon. So please don't cut the trees while you are in Kuala Lumpur. Please bring more trees. If you were to come to Kuala Lumpur, bring together the trees. We really support that, and we really welcome that initiative. Okay, to Kuala Lumpur City Hall, we are planning. We actually did that in the past, and we are doing it still. We'll plant not less than 30,000 trees every year. 30,000 trees every year. And we have a target now, by 2020, there should be 100,000 new trees in the city. And Kuala Lumpur City Hall is also encouraging local communities and NGOs to run urban farming programs. This urban farming program, I can see for myself, is getting more popular now, because the plants, the vegetables that they grow, they can consolidate back. And you can go and visit some of the places that have done this. They are actually making use of all the lands around their own residential area to use it and produce good return back to the society. Now, the gazetting forest season. We have got, I think, about 4 forests in the city of Kuala Lumpur. And all these 4 forests are actually being gazetted. And with that, we are very sure, and this forest reserve will be forever preserved as forests. As I said, trees not only produce oxygen and consume a lot of carbon, but trees, big amount of trees, do have to reduce the local temperature. So this is also very important to us in Kuala Lumpur. We reduce temperature, we can create a better environment for people to live, to move around. If you can see for yourself, if you were to visit Kuala Lumpur, we use a lot of trees, big trees to provide shade, especially along the walkways. We want to do the same thing along the bicycle lane throughout the whole network. Because we have seen in Singapore, these shaded areas are actually provide good encouragement for people to walk and cycle. So with that, I think with all the efforts, Kuala Lumpur will be, soon will be known for the bikeable and walkable city. That's also our aim. Next, we also encourage people to walk in the city. Many old laneways which was not well or properly maintained in the past. Now we have rejuvenated it, and it becomes a new place of attraction. I don't have pictures here to show you, but if you were to Google, you can see the new rejuvenated lane in the city has got a lot of visitors. We have another set of pictures here. I think quite nice. And we are not going to keep this like this for all the laneways in the city. We have other innovative ideas as well. We're going to change it to some other new concepts. With this newly regenerated laneways, we can see people are doing a lot of walking because these laneways serve as shortcuts for people to walk around in the city, as well as to end this initiative to us eventually will lead to higher usage of public transport. That is our main objective. Yes, this is another effort for us to reduce the carbon in the city. I think Puan Haja from Johor Bahru mentioned they also have the car-free morning, and we have the same car-free morning, but actually our car-free morning we also complement it with some other program to make it more lively and to actually bring more people, to bring their families to enjoy the road in the city, to walk, to run, to actually to bring your family to jog together, and it is a real family affair on the weekend. We are doing it every Sunday, fortnightly, but with this new mayor, they may want to change it to every week. I hope it will be a real thing to be happening soon. This is another option. This is another effort based on the individual, independent, probably program by individual parties or association or NGOs. They also created their own innovation to reduce the carbon in the city. I showed the picture here actually where previously they used a lot of bottle drinks. Now they change to use glass jar, and this is to me is a way of reducing the carbon. This is another commendable effort by private developers who are starting to use solar energy.
Oh, excuse me, time is.
Okay, the solar energy. I'm coming to the last slide now. To power the highways, the office, the maintenance office, and the toll booths. So this is, I think, very good effort by the private sector. That's it. This is my last slide. As the conclusion, I would say this: to have low carbon, to achieve a low carbon society or city, it really needs good effort from everyone. You cannot just rely on City Hall alone, or the private sector alone, or the NGOs. It has to be everyone's effort to shoulder the responsibility and treat it as an obligation to actually together reduce the carbon emission. And it is a big challenge to City Hall to make sure everyone or all the residents of Kuala Lumpur, all the companies, all the stakeholders in the city have a very good understanding on the low carbon society concept. With that understanding, and of course I think with the commitment from everyone, especially I've seen the earlier presentation, if we will be able to treat it as our way, our new way of life, that is the best. Our new way of life that will be affecting us to reduce the carbon in our day-to-day life. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dato' Mahdi. I think he have covered all the blueprint of DBKL, the pedestrianization, the river of life, and many projects that related to KL. We can see that KL is one of the cities that carry out a lot of projects, and under Dato' Mahdi, he's a man of low carbon, rather than a man of quite impatient in developing fast projects and all this. So I think if you are from abroad, it's worthwhile visiting KL to see some of the initiatives that Dato' Mahdi had mentioned just now. Without much ado, maybe I'll pass.
Okay, so then last but not least, I'd like to invite the Dato' Omairi Hashim from the Putoraja Corporation. He is a senior vice president, and then he is also a big promoter of the low carbon society in Putoraja.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon. I'll be very quick, since I'm the last speaker. But let me introduce the city of Putrajaya. City of Putrajaya is a very young city. We constructed the city in 1996, October 1996, and Prime Minister moved in 1999. We talk about the city, from the migration of the people to the city is only about 19 years now, today. So being young is not easy compared to the old city, because once it's young and new, you can plan everything. But it's not so, because it's involved the public and community at large, which we bring in from other cities. So in Putrajaya, for the great initiative, we've started with the Putrajaya structure plan. We started the city with the two concepts, City and Garden and Intelligent City. Then in 2010, we moved our focus into the making the city the great city. So our Putrajaya structure plan 2025, we wanted to be sustainable by 2025. In year 2025, we are moving from Garden City to Green City. So in policy number 5, moving Putrajaya towards Green City, we focus our effort into making the city. Number 1 is enhancing ecology, water body, environment, our city. Since we have got almost 40% of the city is with parks in lake. Number 2 is application of green technology, infrastructure and practices in city planning and management. Well, number 3 is adopting sustainable building practices. And number 4, the most important thing, is establishing a model green community which is committed to reduction of carbon footprint. So further to that, we, together with UTM and the collaboration with Kyoto University, Okayama University, and National Institute for Environmental Studies, in early 2010, we come up with the Putrajaya City 2025, which come up with 3 quantitative environmental targets. Number 1 is for low carbon Putrajaya, we wanted to reduce as much as 60% of the carbon emission in Putrajaya. On Tel targeting 70%. Good luck to my big brother, 70%. But we are 2030, we are targeting in 2035. We surely will move towards that target. The national target is 40%, we have to be a little bit more than that. The other target is Pulau Berjaya. We try to reduce as much as 2%, 2 degrees Celsius on the peak temperature recorded daily. From our record, it shows that there are some reduction of the year before. While in 3R, Putrajaya, we are anticipating only 50% will reach the landfill. The other will be recycled through 3R program. The green initiative by several focus areas, namely the city planning and building, integrating nature into the urban fabric, transportation and mobility, energy usage, water usage, solid waste management and administrative, city administrative management. And number one, the focus area is city planning and building. As you can see from the slides, the planning principle that contributes towards reduction in carbon emission. We use local resources for construction. During the early days of construction, we use all the material. The crushed rock was used for the pavement on the roads, and we use the waste from the trees of palm oil to be converted into compost for reuse of the plant in the wetlands. So in new building, green building design requirement, which travel to be completed and construction, which is green certified building. We got 2 platinum GBI certified in the Prime Minister's office and the Energy Commission building. 2 which have platinum, the highest GBI certification. We use in Putrajaya for the cooling and conditioning, district cooling system. In existing building, we have got the initiative which we call BICO2R, Building Sector Energy Use and Carbon Reporting Program. Retrofitting or EE and RE by building owners, green practices building maintenance, and green building certification on operation maintenance by building owners for the 8 common buildings. For future program, we are the construction building, we usually make it mandatory for them to go in. While the focus area number 2, integrating nature into the urban fabric, land use planning for the open spaces which constitute almost 40% of the city area. We desert all open spaces so that it remains as a green for future as well. And we embark with the urban farming program. Transportation mobility, we have got almost 300 km walkways and cycleways in Putrajaya now. Friendly public buses, use MDB and electric EV buses. EV buses for information we got it from Melo, Japan, which we collaborated with them to come out with the demonstration project. We have got 10 buses in Putrajaya, EV buses, which are using the super quick charging facilities. For energy sector, for renewable energy, energy efficiency, energy conservation are the main areas that we are focusing on. We change most of the light lamp, street light to LED lights and the buildings also progressively is changing to LED for energy efficiency. The lake water is used for the irrigation purposes. We can see we can save quite a substantial amount of money per year. We don't use the treated water for irrigation purposes, but we use lake water. While for the solid waste management, again we are targeting 50% only to go to landfill. We embark on the 3R program since 2004. There are some buying from the communities. They are recycling the recyclable items. For city administration and management, the children-led climate change initiative reinforced in school. We encourage low carbon lifestyle for their residents to walk and cycle. One walk with the president, of course, every Wednesday had to walk with the first president for the, of course, healthy lifestyle and green lifestyle as well. That's my last slide. What I would share with you is for the project initiative for the green to become green. We are focusing mostly on the community involvement and the target of community to be with us, part of us. So we would like to share what we have done, and we like to share also what other cities have done. Since we are very small in terms of size, we are only 49 group at this point. We've got the resident population now is around 100 plus thousand. The target population when the city is mentioned is 300,000. We are small in size, but our friend from Mayor of the city is smaller than us. So together we support this initiative with the UGM and other cities of Asia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umairi. I think this is another example of how low carbon city initiatives are carried out by Malaysian cities. Of course, they have showcased how even transportation using EV and a lot of initiatives involving green building, tree plantings and energy efficiency. So we can see that all these 6 cases of cities have illustrated how a low carbon initiative are being carried out at the city level. And I'm afraid that due to our poor management of time, I think we may not be able to open Q&A session, because I think we are preparing for the next opening of this conference in the afternoon by our Chief Minister. So if those people have any question, I'm sure the panelists will be happy to answer it during the lunchtime. You can always approach them and they will be happy to answer any question. Thank you very much. Okay, 1 minute, one more.
So thank you very much all the speakers, very excellent talk. And yeah, roughly 10 years ago when I came to the Malaysia, Johor, nobody talked about the low carbon. And then nobody understands what exactly low carbon, but nowadays, yeah, of course in Malaysia or Thailand or also Vietnam, and not only the central governmental level, but the local governmental level, all the officers talk about low carbon. So now it's a stage to just to know low carbon, but it's actions, and then also not only these leading cities, but also for the neighboring city, all the cities in your country need to take this action. So maybe this is also our research work in how to analyze the, like a type of the action, and then how to encourage the action to be more like advanced one, and also in cooperation with the SDGs. But thank you very much all the panelists, speakers, and for excellent talk, and then please give the big hand to all of them. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Ho and Dr. Junichi, for moderating the forum. It was a very indeed exciting forum. But before that, we would like to again request Prof. Ho to give a token of appreciation to the first half of the mayors. So I would like to invite first IR Haja Nazatul Shima binti Muhammad, okay, to receive a token from Prof. Ho. Then Mr. Titisak Kanasawat, City Mayor Mahasarakam, Thailand. Okay, then Mr. Nguyen Min Moen, Deputy Director, Departments of Natural Resources and the Environment, Don Ray, Vietnam. So this is the representative from Don Ray. Thank you very much, Professor Ho. Now I would like to invite Dr. Junichi Fujino to provide or deliver the token of appreciation to first Mr. Do Kwang Hong, Hai Pong People Committee, Deputy Director of Dinh Vu Industrial Zone, Hai Pang, Vietnam. Okay, next, to Dato' Haji Mahadi Chetna, Executive Director, Planning, Kuala Lumpur City Council, Malaysia. And finally, last but not least, Dato' Omairi Hashim, Senior Vice President, Putrajaya Corporation, Malaysia. Okay, thank you very much to Dr. Junichi and also Prof. Ho just now, and all the mayors for the information delivered just now. And for the next event, it is the most awaited event for today. I would like to invite all guests to join us for a delicious lunch session at the Fern Pine Cafe, level 9, to enjoy a mixture of Western and Eastern cuisine. Okay, so that marks the end of our forum for today, and have a nice lunch. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and salam sejahtera. A very good afternoon and warm welcome to everyone. Honorable representative of Menteri Besar Johor, Exco for Local Government, Science and Technology, Yang Berhormat Mr. Tan Hong Ping, Vice Chancellor of University Technology Malaysia, Yang Berbahagia Professor in Senior Dr. Wahid bin Omar, Mayor of Johor Bahru City Council, Yang Berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran bin Abdul Rahman, Deputy Secretary of Johor Bahru City Council in Senior Haja Nazatul Shima Muhammad, our local and international distinguished guests from various institutions and companies, and fellow participants. Welcome to the 4th International Conference on Low Carbon Asia and Beyond 2018. Selamat datang kepada anda semua. Let me extend this warm welcome to our distinguished guests from Japan, Thailand, and Vietnam. Mindani Yokoso, Yindi Tonga, Chiao Meng. Once again, welcome to all of you, and thank you very much for joining the opening session this afternoon. Before we begin the session this afternoon, let us all make supplications to the Almighty and the greatest to seek peace, mercy, and blessings. And for that, I would like to invite Ustaz Muhammad Aiman bin Ahmad, Islamic Affairs Officer from Johor Bahru City Council for Dua recitation. Please welcome. Al-Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم Oh Allah, on this glorious day, we are gathering here and raising our hand with humbleness and stating our effort and commitment in conjunction with FOSS International Conference on Low Carbon Asia and beyond 2018 to increase awareness about the importance of environmental sustainability, to bring us harmony and beauty of nature, and to ensure prosperous development in the future. Therefore, O Allah, grant us unity in our diversity, provide us with efficiency, and blessing throughout this program, award us beneficial knowledge and spiritual inspiration based on your laws and useful ideas that can be implemented in our government for the benefit of the citizens, state and our country. Allahumma ja'alna hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarraqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Rabbana آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you to Ustaz Muhammad Ayman bin Ahmad for the wonderful dua recited. May our event today be blessed and run smoothly. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th International Conference on Low Carbon Asia and Beyond 2018, or ICLCA, aims to serve as a high-impact platform, bringing together researchers and multi-stakeholders from academia, government, and private sectors to share the knowledge and experience for the transformation towards low-carbon development in Asia and beyond. ICLCA 18 addresses the various challenges outlined under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The event is expected to welcome more than 200 participants with about 30 to 40% of international participation, about 120 presentations including 8 plenary lectures, 7 city mayors sharing on low carbon initiatives, and 105 papers will be delivered by delegates from various countries. Besides, this event will also be focusing on transformation towards smart, resilient and sustainable communities. It is organized in conjunction with the launch of Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to call upon our first distinguished guest, the Vice Chancellor of University Technology Malaysia, Yang Berbahagia Professor Insigne Dr. Wahid bin Omar, to give his welcoming remarks. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Yang berhormat Tuan Tan Hong Ping, Johor Executive Chairman of Local Government Science and Technology, representing Yang Berhormat Menteri Besar Johor, proud to announce his our alumni. Yang berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran Abdul Rahman, Mayor Johor Bahru City Council, Yang Besar Profesor Dr. Ho Jin Siong, ICLCA Chairman and Director of UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center, Honorable Mayors and representatives from Malaysia and abroad, distinguished speakers, participants and guests, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me extend the warmest welcome to everyone who is gathered in this hall this afternoon, especially to all our distinguished guests, speakers, experts on low carbon society, and conference participants from various countries and different parts of Malaysia. Selamat datang, welcome to Johor Bahru. I would like to thank the UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center, Johor Bahru City Council, Iskandar Regional Development Authority, Institute for Global Environment Strategies, and National Institute for Environmental Studies for successfully putting together this 4th International Conference on Low Carbon Asia and beyond, and giving me the honor of addressing this important audience. It is really heartening to see that UTM, through the UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center, is again playing a key role and contributing to international and regional efforts in tackling climate change, which is probably the most pressing issue that underscores the survival and long-term sustainability of the human civilization and all living beings in the 21st century and beyond. I feel proud and honored that UTM, a premier research university that is strategically located right in the geographic heart of rapidly developing Iskandar, Malaysia, is co-hosting this very important conference, especially in the light of the recent IPCC's alarming findings in the special report, global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Through our collective endeavors, we will not only make Asia's voice heard by the international climate policy community, but most importantly, through Asia's growing commitment to mitigating and adapting to global climate change, we hope to contribute materially to taking accelerated climate mitigation actions in response to the just mentioned IPCC special report towards abating the predicted catastrophe of going beyond a 2 degrees Celsius increase in global temperature above the pre-industrial period. This needs to be achieved through an approach that is inclusive, equitable, and ambitious. Over the past few years, through generous sponsorships by the Japanese government and sharing of expertise and knowledge by our Japanese research counterparts, UTM and IRDA have progressively brought Iskandar, Malaysia up to speed in transforming the rapidly developing the economic corridor into a low carbon society in 2025. In the context of Malaysia, I am particularly pleased that UTM has enhanced the Science to Action S2A LCS methodology developed in Iskandar, Malaysia, and extended the methodology to other major Malaysian cities, including Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, and the regional oil and gas hub of Penang. We also shared our valuable Iskandar, Malaysia LCS methodology and experiences to also help other ASEAN cities transition into LCS and contribute to tackling global climate change. This is well in line with UTM's long-term strategic plan to become one of the top 50 world universities in the field of engineering and technology by 2020. By the way, now we are number 53 in the world. Just another 3 ranked. Guided by the UTM Global Plan 2012-2020, we are committed to playing even more significant and impactful roles in contributing to a better world and certainly a better Asia. UTM commits to continuously enhance its global presence by taking the lead in offering the world and Asia high-quality human capital, research, innovation, and service to the community, including in climate change mitigation and adaptation. And we do our small part by promoting sustainable living in campus. It gives me great pleasure and honor again to welcome our distinguished guests, speakers, experts and participants from beyond and within Malaysia to Iskandar, Malaysia. Please do visit our beautiful UTM Eco Campus, about 15 kilometers from here. I would also to thank all sponsors who have generously contributed to the conference. And I must not forget to acknowledge the hard and excellent work of the organizing committee for the past year or so in planning, organizing, and bringing this conference back to our home ground in Johor Bahru. I must also congratulate the state of Johor and city of Johor Bahru for championing low carbon society. Lastly, I take this opportunity to wish everyone an enjoyable stay in Johor Bahru and Iskandar, Malaysia, and a fruitful exchange of knowledge and ideas in the conference. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Professor, for the wonderful welcoming remarks. May the welcoming remarks inspire everyone to successfully achieve what we are planning now for the better future. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to call upon our next distinguished guest, Yang Berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran bin Abdul Rahman, Mayor of Johor Bahru City Council, to give a speech. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Yang berhormat Tuan Tan Hong Ping, Johor Executive Chairman of Local Government, Science and Technology, and also the official representative of Yang Amat Berhormat Chief Minister of Johor. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dato' Dr. Wahid bin Omar, Vice Chancellor of University Technology Malaysia. Yang Bursa IR Puan Najah Nazatul Shima binti Muhammad, Deputy Secretary of MPJP. Yang dihormati Profesor Planner Dr. Ho Chin Siong, ICLCA Chairman and Director of UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center. All the councillors, Johor State officials, honourable mayors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 4th International Conference on Low Carbon Asia and Beyond 2018. First of all, I would like to thank Yang Berhormat Mr. Tan Hon Ping for his willingness to be with us to appreciate this very important conference this afternoon. Thank you, Yang Berhormat, for allowing us to take your valuable time to discuss and present an important agenda in realizing the goal and aspiration for greener and prosperous Johor Bahru and state of Johor in the near future. I would also like to express my appreciation to University Technology Malaysia, or UTM, specifically the UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center and the Iskandar Regional Development Authority, or ILDA, for being our strategic partners all these years and helping the Johor Bahru City Council make significant progress in implementing the low carbon agenda in Johor Bahru. To all international participants and mayors who are here today, I would also like to say Selamat Datang, welcome to Johor Bahru. Yang berhormat, Beratuk, ladies and gentlemen, the International Conference on Low Carbon Asia and Beyond 2018 is the 4th in the series of conferences that were previously held in Johor Bahru, Kuala Lumpur and Bangkok. Over the years, the conference series has grown to become an important regional and international platform for LCS knowledge sharing and dissemination, research networking and collaboration, business pairing and investment matching, institutional and public-private partnership, and even for making friends. It is with this in view that the Johor Bahru City Council decided that we need to be a key party to this year's conference, and we are pleased to have partnered up with UTM in co-organizing the conference. Through this partnership, the City Council hopes to bring Johor Bahru many notch up in our effort to contribute to not only GHG emission reduction, but also opening up new green growth and investment opportunities, as well as sustainable development in Iskandar, Malaysia, Johor, Malaysia, and beyond. The importance and timeliness of this conference are especially clear when cast against the alarming revelation by the 48th session of the IPCC on the global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius just earlier this month in Incheon, Republic of Korea. Committing ourselves to significant cuts in GHG emissions while maintaining economic prosperity and social well-being is in a way no longer an option for the countries and cities. Johor Bahru is proud to have taken early action in this regard. Therefore, in conjunction with the selection of Johor Bahru as the venue for this conference year, we would also like to take this opportunity to officially launch our recently completed revised version of the Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025, which we believe will help catapult Johor Bahru towards becoming a vibrant, sustainable, world-class cosmopolis of the South by the year 2025, which in line with the City Council vision of developing Johor Bahru as a world-class, cultured and sustainable city. The Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025 is a result of the smart partnership created between the Johor Bahru City Council, UTM and IRDA, and its testament to our long-standing commitment to promoting and materializing sustainable development in Johor Bahru in line with the Sustainable Development Goal SDGs 2030. Being the local authority that oversees development of the Southern International Gateway into Malaysia, the Johor Bahru City Council aims at promoting rapid economic growth, societal well-being and development, as well as environmental protection and management in this city. This revised version of the action plan will provide more contextually specific, action-oriented guidance to the policymakers, investors, businesses, non-governmental organizations, developers and communities toward mitigating the impact of the economic and social activities on the environment and climate change in the city of Johor Bahru. We are indeed pleased to be one of the pioneering local authorities in Iskandar, Malaysia, if not in Johor, that is on the right path towards realizing the low carbon society with clear emission reduction targets, enhancing inclusiveness by placing importance on community-centric development and promoting green growth, while at the same time reducing GHG emission in our administrative area. Yang berhormat, ladies and gentlemen, this revised version of Low Carbon Society Action Plan for Johor Bahru 2025, with its 12 action and 247 programs, will be implemented in a timely and proactive manner with the Johor Bahru City Council taking on a leading role. And I take this opportunity to invite all the conference participants to be part of this challenging mission by keeping in touch with and provide support to Johor Bahru LCS progress even well after the conclusion of this conference. The City Council would like to again thank UTM and Japanese researchers from the Kyoto University, Okayama University, and the National Institute for Environmental Studies (NIES) for their invaluable research effort, diligence, support, and commitment to the sustainable low-carbon growth of Johor Bahru. Towards the end of this conference, the City Council also hoped to announce the Johor Bahru Joint Declaration on the Low-Carbon Asia, which will lay out key points of the consensus among conference participants on the future direction and action that the Asian community need to take towards contributing to a climate change mitigated and sustainable world. Yang berhormat, Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, before I end my speech this afternoon, I hope that the discussion, dialogues, and networking built from this conference would not only bring benefit to the citizens of Johor Bahru, but also the whole Asia region, or perhaps the world. I am confident that with the presence of distinguished mayors, academicians, policymakers, NGOs, and industry players here today, this conference will be productive in sharing the best practices conducted around the world that can also be adapted to be applied here in Johor Bahru and the Asia region. I would like to convey my highest appreciation to all state officials, mayors, academicians, the media, and all participants for your presence here this afternoon and making this event a success. And to all the participants who come from outside of Johor Bahru, I hope that all of you will enjoy your stay in this beautiful city and will continue to visit us again in the future. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran, for the beautiful and inspiring speech. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time we have all been waiting for, an official opening remark and launch of Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025 by Yang Amat Berhormat Menteri Besar Johor. For that, I would like to call upon the official representative of Menteri Besar Johor, Yang Berhormat Mr. Tan Hong Ping, to give his opening remark and officially launch this opening session. Please welcome YB Mr. Tan Hong Ping.
Thank you to our MC. Yang berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran bin Abdul Rahman, Mayor of Johor City Council. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Engineer Dr. Wahid bin Omar, Vice Chancellor of University Technology Malaysia, where I come from. Yang berusaha Puan Hajiah Nazatul Shima binti Muhammad, Deputy Secretary of Johor City Council. Yang berbahagia yang berusaha Profesor Entrepreneur Dr. Ho Chia Siong, ICLCA Chairman and Director of UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center, Johor State Officers, Honorable Mayors, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to extend apologies from our Chief Minister, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Osman Sapian, for not being able to with you together, as he is now chairing an important meeting, and actually I escaped halfway from the meeting. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer, the Johor City Council and University Technology Malaysia,
for inviting me to officiate this very important conference on mitigating climate change in Asia this afternoon. I firmly believe that we are gathering here today for a very important cause in realizing the aim towards a low-carbon society, not only for Johor Bahru, but also in the Johor State and the Asia region and beyond. The Johor State government is committed for supporting this agenda because we firmly believe that concerted efforts among Asian countries in cutting greenhouse gas emissions are forever more important and urgent, especially in the light of IPCC's special report on global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius just released on 6 October lately at the 48th session of the IPCC in Incheon, Republic of Korea. With the recorded increase in global GHG emission of 1.5% in 2007, and the finding that the world is more likely on a pathway towards a 3 degrees Celsius increase in global temperature by the year of 2100, we can no longer delay efforts in the cutting GHG emissions. Asia, especially developed and rapidly developing Asian countries, must do our part. Malaysia, and in particular the state of Johor, are committed to contribute to such efforts. Yang Berhormat Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, a low-carbon society is a society where people live a simple but high-quality lifestyle, emphasizing family and communal ties in harmony with nature and with minimal emission of carbon dioxide. Among the value of a low-carbon society are the minimization of carbon in all sectors such as transport, industry, residential areas and agriculture, leading a simpler lifestyle that realizes a richer quality of life and effort to coexist with the nature. Probably we should start to switch up a bit the temperature in this hall. This is too cold. The issue of climate change and global warming is being focused upon today than ever before, with both mandatory and voluntary efforts in reducing greenhouse gas emissions being observed in many countries around the world, including Malaysia. During the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, the 15th session of the Conference of the Parties, COP15, in December 2009, Malaysia has announced to voluntarily reduce the country's greenhouse gas emission intensity of the GDP by up to 40% by the year 2020, based on the 2005 level. At COP20 in 2014, Malaysia then announced that we had already achieved a 33% reduction of greenhouse gas emission intensity. At COP21 in Paris in 2015, Malaysia upped the GHG emissions reduction target to 45% in terms of intensity of GHG by the year 2030, in which 10% was conditional upon receipt of the funding and technological assistance from the developed nations. The new government of Malaysia today is committed to ensuring that the renewed 45% reduction target is not only achieved, but will also bring about even better economic, social and environmental well-being to the people. The new state government of Johor, likewise, will be open to any good ideas, investments and development projects that will contribute to mitigating climate change while bringing about prosperity and well-being to the people and the environment. In line with efforts of federal and state government, ICLCA Malaysia has worked continuously to address carbon emissions in the rapidly developing economic corridor. Since 2011, the ICLCA Regional Development Authority, ILDA, have been working closely with the University Malaysia, University Technology Malaysia, Kyoto University, Okayama University, and the National Institute for Environmental Studies, Japan, to develop the Low Carbon Society Blueprint for ICLCA Malaysia 2025, which was then launched at COP18 in Doha, Qatar, in November 2012. Through ILDA and UTM's effort, ICLCA Malaysia and the Johor State has in a way led the nation forward in terms of contributing to global greenhouse gas emissions reduction. I'm hoping that this low carbon society model pioneered by ICLCA Malaysia will be extended to other regions and districts within Johor in the near future, so that Bangsa Johor, the entire people of Johor, could reap the benefits of a cleaner and healthier environment and a prosperous green economy. Dato' and ladies and gentlemen, in the pursuit of environmentally friendly development, many cities in various parts of the world have attempted to design and implement climate change mitigations and adaptation strategies. In both developed and developing countries, cities are the main contributors to the greenhouse gas emissions, but at the same time, cities present the biggest opportunities and potentials for any meaningful greenhouse gas emissions mitigation to be achieved. Thus, the development of low carbon society focusing on cities and urban regions such as ICLCA Malaysia is a concrete step toward climate change mitigation. The International Conference on Advancing Low Carbon Society in Asia and beyond is therefore a crucial platform where researchers can interact with policymakers and stakeholders to exchange and synthesize knowledge and build relevant scenarios in moving towards a low-carbon Asia. I'm pleased that the Johor State is able to share with other Asian countries our model to accelerate the realization of low-carbon societies in ICLCA Malaysia, specifically through the formulation of the 5 low-carbon action plans 2015 for each of the 5 local authorities in ICLCA Puteri, which are the Johor Bahru City Council, ICLCA Puteri City Council, Pasir Kuta Municipal Council, Kulai Municipal Council, and Pontian District Council. I understand that all the 5 local authorities are in various stages of implementation of the low carbon society programs outlined in their respective action plan, and ILDA is now working with the UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center in monitoring and reporting their implementation progress. The state government is fully supportive of such efforts And this is an indication of how serious we are in advancing low-carbon society and achieving the set greenhouse gas emissions reduction targets. And in fact, the state government really instruct all the local councils in Johor to reduce and to make low carbon society agendas as the first step when they are doing the local planning plan. I'm hoping that this will be emulated and by all other local authority in Johor in realizing the aims of the low carbon society in this state. And I certainly hope that through the platform provided by this conference, many other Asian cities could learn from us and also teach us how we could together help Asia and we, the world, to achieve significant cuts in greenhouse gas emissions to avoid the kind of catastrophe predicted in the IPCC special report mentioned earlier. And especially, please do note that the Johor City Council has recently revised their Johor Bahru Low Carbon Society Action Plan 2025 with the help of UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center to take into account the latest institutional and the social economic changes arising from the January 2016 green delineation of the local authorities' boundaries in Iskandar, Malaysia. This again is a show of good spirit and commitment in driving Johor Bahru, Iskandar, Malaysia and the Johor state towards becoming a low-carbon society by 2025. Before I end my speech this afternoon, I'd like to again thank the organizers, UTM, Johor Bahru City Council, and ILDA, and all the sponsors from the local authorities and other government and private agencies that made this conference possible. Let me reiterate that the state government of Johor is committed to open to ideas, technologies, investment and developments that incorporate low carbon society, in particular those that will directly help in advancing the 12 key sectors identified under the low carbon society blueprint for Iskandar Putri 2025, which are green transportation, green industry, low carbon urban governance, green building and construction, green energy system and renewable energy, low carbon lifestyle, community engagement and consensus building, developing walkable, safe and livable city design, smart urban growth, green and blue infrastructure, sustainable waste management, and creating a clean air environment in the city. I hope that all the ideas and best practices shared in this conference could be applied by the state agencies in their policies and strategic plans for the future for a low-carbon society of Johor. I wish you all an enjoyable and fruitful conference. And to all our international guests, I wish you a most pleasant and memorable stay in Johor and hope you will take time out to experience our food, culture and environment. With this, I now officiate the 4th International Conference on Low Carbon Society, Low Carbon Asia and Beyond 2018. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yang Berhormat Mr. Tan Hong Ping, for the great opening remark. We deeply hope that all strategized will be successfully implemented in this beautiful state for the years to come. Yang Berhormat, I may have to ask you to remain on the stage because we will be having a gimmick of launching the Low Carbon Society Action Plan right after this. I would also like to call upon other guests of honor on the stage together with YB for the gimmick. Please welcome to the stage Tuan Haji Amran, Mayor of Johor Bahru City Council, Yang Berbahagia Professor Insigne Dr. Wahid bin Omar and Vice Chancellor and the Chairman of ICLCA. Please welcome. YB, on the count of 3, I may need to touch onto the crystal ball so that the gimmick will begin. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. To all guests of honor, I may have to ask you once again to kindly remain on the stage because we will also be having the LCA book launching and souvenir exchanges. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to launch the LCA book. And for that, I would like to invite our Mayor, Yang Berbahagia Tuan Haji Amran, to present and give the book to Yang Berhormat, Mr. Tan Hong Ping. Thank you very much indeed to Tuan Haji Amran. May the book be useful for the future of the state. Next, we are also having souvenir exchanges session. First, I would like to invite Mayor of Johor Bahru City Council again to present a token of appreciation to our distinguished guest, Yang Berhormat Mr. Tan Hong Ping. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to invite UTM Vice Chancellor, Yang Berbahagia Professor Insigne Dr. Wahid bin Omar, to present a token of appreciation from UTM to Mayor of Johor Bahru City Council, Tuan Haji Amran Abdul Rahman. Thank you very much to all of our guests of honor, and I would like to invite you to take a seat and be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, our opening session today has come to an end, and before we move on to our next agenda, our guest of honor can remain seated. Thank you. Before we move on to our next agenda, I would like to invite all participants to come forward because we are now going to have a photography session with all of our honored guests. Those participants who sit at the back, kindly come forward as we are about to start the photo session. Our guests of honor may remain seated, while other participants will stand nearby. I may need someone to assist the participants on the line they should make for the photo session. I may also need those participants to look at the camera, left and right. Please look at the camera on your right side first. And then on the center. And then left. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I would like to invite all of our guests of honor to proceed to the back of this hall for press conference and exhibition session. Again, thank you very much to all of you, and have an amazing day ahead. Thank you. To all participants, kindly remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you very much for sticking around and be part of this opening session this afternoon. Our next agenda is a special session from Elsevier, and I would like to call upon Dr. Lan Song to give her presentation on publishing on sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Lan Song.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm Lan Song. I'm the publisher from Elsevier in charge of the environmental science and technology journals. So I'm very delighted to be here today. And today I'm going to talk about the high impact publication in sustainability. So firstly, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. As a publisher, I'm in charge of 12 international journals that's working in environmental science and technology. That includes Journal of Cleaner Production, which is a major journal focused on sustainability. So as addressed by previous speakers, you know that sustainability nowadays become a very hot topic. So how are we doing in publications? I would like to show you some insight about that from publisher side. So here, I would like to present firstly the number of publications over years. That's we can see the first publication about sustainability actually appears in 1970, in early 1970, and you see that around 2000, that sustainability started to pick up by researchers, and in recent 10 years, this really becomes a very hot topic nowadays. The publication increased dramatically over years, especially the recent 10 years, and sustainability is a multidisciplinary topic. So that includes environmental science, social science, engineering, agriculture, and several other disciplines I listed here. Especially the majority research conducted from environmental science, social science, and engineering. And then, where are we publishing? There's many international journals nowadays, but there are some some of them are very large in quantity, and some of them are more focused on the quality. So I just show you some top journals that is active in this field. So we have sustainability, which is published by MDPI. We have a journal of cleaner production. That's a red line here. You see, that's also the mega journal publishing sustainability. We also have several other journals. It's very active here. And so people may start wondering, so which countries actually contribute significantly in this area? We find that United States and the United Kingdom definitely are very active in this field, and also lots of Western Europe countries. But in Asia, we find that only China and Malaysia is publishing significantly in this area. For Malaysia, we find that it has been listed on the 15th contribution all over the world. So that's actually a huge achievement for the country in Asia. And if we only consider Malaysia, we found that the first publication regarding the sustainability actually appears around 1989, and also follow the trends as other countries. That's in recent 10 years. The publication from Malaysia regarding sustainability also increased. If we consider, which university has done is dominant in sustainability in Malaysia, we find that UTM definitely is ranked as #1 here in publication. And regarding the citations, UTM is also have 8.2 citation per particle for the papers published in sustainability. And this is another feature that shows the top 1 of worldwide topics by prominence that's covered by Malaysia. Indeed, we find that Malaysia is very active in the sustainability topics. For instance, you see that there's a very huge attention for the mathematics, physics, chemistry, engineering, and energy parts. That's all this green-blue area. That's where Malaysia contributes to the sustainability research. Actually, that's where you are doing really great compared to many other disciplines. So, cleaner production, Journal of Cleaner Production is one of my journals. That I'm overseeing. I'm working very closely with editor-in-chief, with associators to ensure that the paper being published timely, also was in good manner. That cleaner production is also one of the major outlets for Malaysia researchers. Well, here I want to show more insight about the Journal of Cleaner Production, and show on this graph you see the submission manuscript and actual outcome over years for Journal of Cleaner Production. You see that's also from 2014, that we have around 3,000 submissions, in which were accepted around 1,200. And that number has increased to 11,000 in 2018 year to date. And we accepted also around almost about 3,000 papers. So cleaner production is not only focused on that means cleaner production is not only focused on the quantity, but the quality is very important to us. Around nowadays, the rejection rate on the journal is about 75% to 80%. If we take a closer look at which continent contributes to this researcher, we also find that the main drive is from Asian countries and European countries. You can see for 2014, there's around 1,400 papers submitted by Asian countries, and that number increased to 7,000 nowadays. And among all these Asian countries, China and Malaysia is the main country who contributes to this number here. So people may ask me, how can I get my paper published in a high-impact journal? How can I improve my scientific writing and make an impact? Firstly, I want to introduce the academic publishing, so the publishing cycle here. As a researcher, you all know that the first step for you to do research or to conduct research is to have a background or to know more about current developments in this area. So you probably start with reading lots of journals, and then build up your idea, and from there you will design your experiment or design your methods and to produce some results. Once you get your results, you will try to try to write up and submit to a paper. So choosing a right journal is very important because you want to ensure that your paper gets enough attention, gets the right attention from the community. And once you choose the journal, you submit. The editor-in-chiefs and associate editors, they help you to review the journal, and the reviewers also play a very important role in this time. And after the peer review, the editor makes a decision for you either to accept your paper, reject, or revise your paper. Once you get the final version accepted, that your paper will be sent for production and in the end published online. And from there, you should start to disseminate your results to your network, to a larger community, and from there, other people or yourself start to build up new ideas and generate new results. So, as nowadays, around 30 to 60 percent of papers being rejected by more than 10,000 editors over the world. And we have lots of people conduct reviews for you because for each paper we need at least 3 reviews to make a decision. And it's also around 300,000 papers that's being accepted yearly, and there's just 12 million articles that are available online for you to read. And many people are downloading from the website and also from our social media to read your paper. As a researcher, you would make an impact by playing different role in this process. So firstly, when you are you just started, maybe just graduate from a master and participate like in research, like a PhD. That's you start as a reader. You read the contents from different journals, and once you get your idea, you have your results. That's when you start to become an author here. As an author, you need to polish your writing skills. Sometimes when you get good experimental results, it's also very essential for you to have very good writing skills. Only if you can present your results smoothly, and then you can prove that your result is significant. And when you get several papers published, and you get some experience, maybe the editor will think, okay, this author seems produced some nice work, why not invite him to become a reviewer? So that's where you'll be notified by the editors and to pick you as a reviewer. And when you start to do review, you start to know more first-hand research, and you may able to create more new ideas, become even senior in the field. And when you conduct enough reviews from the publisher and the editor side, we will find that whether you are a good reviewer in a database. So if we always find this reviewer deliver constantly in a good quality, that's where we think, okay, let's consider her or him as the actual board member. And from there, you start to participate in journal activities. And if you are a good actual board member, then you have the potential to be picked up as an editor in the end. So as I said, at a different career stage, that you may participate in different roles here. So when you are still a young researcher, I would like to encourage you to go to the elsewhere publishing campus. That's where you can pick up lots of courses, these online courses, for how to write an article, how should you plan your career in academy, how should you, reach out different organizations, all kind of information you can find there. And if you attend the course on this website, by the way, it's totally free. So then you can get also a certificate to say that you get trained in this area. So I would encourage all the young researchers to actively participate in these kind of courses to polish your skill. And for supervisors, maybe you can also recommend your first year PhD students to participate. That's where you don't need to teach them all the basics from the beginning. And for later, when you have experience, you may start to notice that, okay, there are so many different journals that are actively publishing. I just list a couple of my journals and here in environmental science. So they have different impact factor. And some journals, like Journal of Cleaner Production is one of the mega journal publishing in sustainability. But that's also, we include several other journals also relevant here. So as a senior researcher, you may are interested in the actual work and which journal you should join. You may take a look at their website, see who is on the actual board and who is actually the editors. So browse the journal title and try to find the right journal to read. That's also maybe interesting for senior researchers. I have conducted and analyzed the editorial contribution for several countries in South Asia. So I listed 4 main countries here. So you see on this graph, the blue bar here represents chief editors from these 4 countries, and then the orange bar that represents the associate editor number in each country. We see that Malaysia has, by the way, to mention that the editorial contribution here is all from elsewhere, so not only in environmental science, but its overall contribution. So we found that from Malaysia, we have 5 editor-in-chief that is originally from Malaysia universities, and around 38 is currently working as an associate editor on our journals. So this, I would say for Southern Asia, Malaysia definitely is doing very great in this area. I haven't mentioned here that we also have lots of researchers that participate as actual board member. But in general, that's what I want to emphasize, that you need to, if you want to, be vocal on your research, get attention from the international community, you want to actively present yourself on this kind of international platform. So participate as associate editor or editor-in-chief would be a very good opportunity for you to expose yourself, your university, in the international stage. And Malaysia is already doing pretty great, and I think in future we will see lots of good researchers, excellent researchers appear in this part. So to summarize, I think sustainability nowadays has become very important, and the researcher, you have several steps you can take to be able to present yourself in the sustainability research all over the world. And we are looking forward to help you in achieve that goal. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I would be happy to help you. Yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much indeed to Dr. Lan Song for the useful presentation on publishing on sustainability with Elsevier. It is requested by co-chair to have a photography session on the stage. Yeah, so I may ask all the participants to come forward to the stage, and we will have a photography session before we go for refreshment. Oh, sorry, a technical issue again. Okay, just the co-chair and the presenter. Again, I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the session today, and I would like to thank you very much for participating in this opening session today. Before we go for refreshment, I have a little announcement to make. For your information, we will be having a tea break for 20 minutes, and the refreshment is already served outside of this hall. Later afterwards, we are going to be having parallel sessions in the auditorium, whereas the oral presentation will be conducted at Diamond Room 1, 2, 3 and 4. Meanwhile, the poster presentation will be conducted at Diamond Room 5 on level 10. Again, thank you very much for participating in the session. Terima kasih, arigatou gozaimashita, kam'enban, kapkun to everyone. Have a great day ahead. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera.